This is heaven right here on earth. After being homeless, to be a homeowner, and to be a homeowner here in the Musicians Village too is like a double honor, because it's validation that the music is important, that it does matter.
Michael Harris is a resident of a comfortable New Orleans community designed specifically for low-income musicians.
Growing up in the Low Ninth Ward, you know, we were so poor we didn't even know we were poor, because everybody else around us was poor. But we always had music.
Until Hurricane Katrina took that away too.
Dozens feared dead, thousands homeless, and more than 1 million without power.
I had a lot of original material that I'd been working on. All of that was gone. All of it was gone, man. That was devastating.
But Michael and almost 100 more musicians like him have found salvation in the Musicians Village, a place that has helped keep New Orleans' grand musical tradition alive. On August 29, 2005, Hurricane Katrina tore through New Orleans, leaving 80% of a major American city underwater and thousands of people homeless. "10 years ago, we saw destruction and despair.
We haven't eaten in like 5 days.
How's a 3-week-old infant gonna be able to survive out here with no milk, no water?
But 6 months later, after the water receded, a project to create a new community for scores of displaced musicians was launched.
The first large-scale construction project since Hurricane Katrina is now underway in that city. It's called the New Orleans Habitat Musicians Village. It's backed by that city's arm of Habitat for Humanity, and Harry Connick Jr. is one of the honorary chairmen of
With the support of New Orleans musical greats Harry Connick Jr., Ellis Marsalis, and his son Branford, donations poured in, and the rebuilding began. Harry Connick Jr. donated the proceeds from an album, and Dave Matthews raised $1.5 million with a benefit concert. You could apply to live here as long as you could prove you were making money as a musician and were willing to put in 350 hours of sweat equity into construction. Jim Pate, the head of New Orleans Habitat for Humanity, showed us around.
Had been demolished, so that was all. This was all muddy field, and actually here was where Ellis and Harry and Branford talked about the vision when there was nothing here, absolutely emptiness.
Now 72 homes line the streets, where a decade ago there was only mud.
Being here is like God giving me another chance to start a whole new life.
New Orleans is the birthplace of jazz, the city where Louis Armstrong fell in love with the trumpet. So we went to check out Frenchmen Street, the place where, on any given night, a nameless band will take up residency on a street corner, while the masters play the clubs. It was there that we caught a show from a member of one of the city's great musical families, Delfeo Marsalis.
The music of New Orleans, the sound of New Orleans, the jazz, the R&B, the Mardi Gras Indians, the brass bands, it's black music. It's based in the black community.
Jan Ramsey has been reporting on music in New Orleans for some 30 years. She feared that in the aftermath of the storm, the exodus of black people from the city would compromise the culture that had defined it for so long.
You know, the big question was, what's going to happen to the music, the culture? Will these people come back? Will they be able to come back? Will they have a place to live?
Still today, the effects of this migration linger. Black residency isn't near what it was before Katrina.
I am concerned that because the complexion, so to speak, of the city and the demographics of the city are changing, and people are now looking at New Orleans as a place to make money instead of to maybe live to be creative, that it's going to have a negative impact on the creative people.
Margie Perez is a perfect example of that creative economy. She's a singer who lives in the Musicians Village.
My baby, he got the notion that he don't got my devotion.
She makes ends meet by doing what's probably the most New Orleans job out there, other than maybe po' boy cook. She recycles Mardi Gras beads.
The ones that are here on the wall, we call them specialty beads because they're a little fancier.
Giant lobster.
That's actually a crawfish.
Crawfish. Clearly, I'm not from here.
Everyone in New Orleans knows, or in Louisiana knows that.
That's how you can. That's how you tell.
Right. I thank my lucky stars every day that I'm able to live in a place that I can afford, because I'm seeing that rents especially are just so out of hand, and it's really pricing people out, and it's making people who can't afford it find other places to live. And that's, especially with musicians, we need our musicians here, to be able to carry on the what New Orleans is all about.
Indeed, since Katrina, rents citywide have gone up 43%. The average rent for a 3-bedroom home in New Orleans is $1,100 a month. At the Musicians Village, residents pay $650 to $750 a month. And unlike renters, they eventually end up owning their homes. After Katrina, it gave musicians a shot at equity, and it gave their neighbors a reason to come back.
Nobody wants to move onto a block where they're the only homeowner. We set an anchor down and started having a critical mass of housing, a dynamic take place, and then everything builds out from there. It's important, we think, not simply for people to come back and be stable, but to come back to a community.
To build up this community, organizers built the Ellis Marsalis Center, where kids can take music lessons. After the storm, a new charter school initiative replaced the old public school system, and kids' arts education hasn't been a priority. So places like the center are filling in the gaps.
It's about development of youth. It's about opportunity for youth.
I met with Daryl Dickerson, the musical director.
This is the stage. And the stage is, as you can hear, is so unique and so crystal clear.
Daryl showed us the stage, which he said was acoustically perfect, though I was more interested in the moving sidewalls.
How you turn the doors.
Oh, these move?
Oh, do they move? Yeah. You wouldn't think they move, huh?
No, I did not.
Push that one. Go ahead, push that one.
Okay. Residents can see shows here for $3 and use it as a practice space. Next, Daryl showed us the recording studio, where he teaches audio engineering. This, he said, is his favorite room. And it's the place that most helps kids escape the stresses of growing up in one of the city's poorest neighborhoods.
What I'll do is, I'll bring them back here. And they say, wow, what is all this? And let them have this experience of saying, wow, I did this, I did that. And I'll pull up a recording track and say, okay, let's give me some drums, and I'll let them move the faders and stuff of that nature. Because who knows? This may be the thing that makes them say, okay, I want to do this.
The center teaches kids 4 days a week during the school year and throughout the summer. Michael is proud to live down the street.
The music center, that's the crown jewel. It's not just about me or us, it's about the next generation too. There's an inherent obligation to pass it on. If a kid is making noise on an instrument, you know where that kid is and you know what they're doing. That's a good thing. You don't have to worry. You don't even have to look for them. You can hear them.
Michael's also recording an album at the center, free of charge, as is his neighbor, Troy Sawyer.
So I say it's a blessing to live in the Musicians Village, to be a musician and live in the only musicians village in the world. And it's in New Orleans, my hometown.
It's a good place to be an artist, but it's not perfect. Troy's tired of the tours that come through. We were told 4 to 6 times a day. How do you feel about that? Because this is your house.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes people, they pass through, it's like we're a zoo of animals. They just look at us and then keep on going. And so I don't appreciate that. I feel like they should give back in some type of way.
So he's doing something about it.
Because they're making money off of us. And that's why I'm going to capitalize off of that by creating, an outside space, a performance space outside in my backyard, where those buses that come up and down the street, they can actually buy a CD and come to a concert for a small fee.
You're a businessman.
We need more musicians' villages, really. If that's affordable housing, then that's what we need. because that's the thing that's going to help musicians. I mean, it is, and creative people, not just musicians, artists, writers, whatever. I mean, they need a place to live, they need a place to create, because that's what makes our culture, you know? So, God bless them.
I really wish I could take this center and put one in every ward of the city, all over the city, because it's a great model.
It's all love down here. Beautiful people.
I just love being a part of the community.
Out of all of that tragedy, this is a beacon of hope. This is a sign, this is tangible proof that we can rebuild and we can make it better.
For the people who live here, that hope is another good reason to call New Orleans home.
It's really comforting to know that regardless of where I go, I can come home.
Yeah, New Orleans. Thank you so much, y'all.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and then click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.